For some, I know you'll understand what I'm about to say. To others, this could probably come off as very privileged and tone deaf. But it's something I went through growing up that I definitely want to talk about because I need to change how I'm thinking as I continue to go through life. Growing up, I can definitely say I've experienced both sides of the coin when it came to having money to having nothing. Going from living in impoverished areas to living into middle class areas with gated fences and nice homes, nice lawns. So safe that I didn't have to worry about if somebody was going to break into my car or break into my house. Those type of neighborhoods where if you wanted to leave your front door unlocked, you could. That was a very big transition for me growing up. And even though I started to live in this nice neighborhood, I still went to the same school. So all my friends were still from the impoverished neighborhoods. And for me, personally, I remember feeling some type of guilt, almost as if it was like I made it out, but like I left my people behind. And my friends knew I moved, but I never told them where. I never told them it was a nice area. I never told them that my house was bigger and it was safer and the people around me were richer, because I felt like even though I knew my life was better, I couldn't be happy. I couldn't enjoy the moments. I was in a better situation out of fear of feeling like I was the only person to experience it. Kind of in a way, I felt like it was betrayal on the people that I used to be with, of going through the slums together, but not all of us coming up, if that makes sense. And I remember one day I was in high school and I needed a ride from one of my friends, and I completely forgot that I didn't tell anybody that I had moved to this new neighborhood, that when people passed it, everybody wanted to live in it. And we sat at that light before you got to the community. And I remember I looked to my friend and I told him, I said, I don't want you to think that where I live makes it come off as if I have this abundance of money, makes it come off as if I am better. Because even though I got an upgrade in life, what people didn't understand, and I guess what I felt like would have been hard to explain to people, was that even though we lived in this new, beautiful community, everybody in the house was working to stay in that home. It wasn't as, I think when people see others in nice neighborhoods, they think it's one person or maybe two people paying to stay in that house. You know what I mean? I think they see somebody that has money, that has it all together. But what I was trying to explain is that for us to live in a place like that, we needed all hands on deck. We needed everybody to have a job. We needed everybody to pay some sort of bill. You know what I mean? Everybody was working to be able to afford the lives that we wanted. But it's so easy for people that don't have it to see somebody with something nice and not take that into regard and not see it as something the next person deserves. We all know, especially when it comes to the Black community, a lot of us come from no resources. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't know the world outside of the block radius that we live in, the mile radius that we live in. It's a sad truth, you know what I mean? A lot of African Americans don't get the privilege to travel, don't get the privilege to go places, don't get the privilege to own land and property and houses and have stuff for ourselves. And so with that, sometimes there's this jealousy, there's this hatred that forms inside of us, and we see people with things that are nice, and to some degree, some people think that they don't deserve them. See these materialistic items and think they can use it to change their own lives, which in hindsight will cause maybe that person to steal, to betray, to manipulate, to take advantage of. And it's not right. It's not right. But when you get to the root of it, a lot of the things that people do when it comes to impoverished communities, they do it for survival. It isn't the right answer at the end of the day, but for a lot of these people, it is the answer. And so when I made that transition into the new neighborhood, I remember feeling so guilty and feeling like I couldn't even enjoy the new life I was living because in a way I felt like a fraud. I knew my neighbors around me were in this situation where only the dad was working and was a stay-at-home mom, or maybe the couple was just paying for it. But what they didn't see was all of us working to try to stay afloat, to stay there. It was almost as if we were living around people that this was their retirement homes, this was their vacation homes, and we're fighting to make this our home. Like when it came to the income level, we were definitely on two different brackets. So it kind of felt like I was masking to be in a nice neighborhood, but that wasn't truly me, if that makes sense. And I say all this to say, I definitely feel like I never allowed myself to appreciate the blessings that were given to me when it came to my life, to appreciate the opportunity that I was even able to get out of the situation I was in, to even be able to live in a community like that, to be surrounded, to feel safe, to not feel like I was in survival mode all the time, to not feel like I had to fight. I feel like going into that middle class was the first time in my life I felt like I could breathe. I wasn't looking over my shoulder. I wasn't questioning everybody's intent. I just felt safe. I felt happy. And I couldn't enjoy that because there was always that fear of, will I have to go back to where I was, to the place I was in? Will I have to go back to fight or flight? And it was the fear of losing those friendships, of losing those people around me because I had something better. It was that fear of having my friends look at me in betrayal, become jealous in some type of way, look at me as if I was some type of come up. And so because of that, I hid behind closed doors a lot of times. I hid behind my mask when it came to school, when it came to being out. Because for some reason in my mind, I felt like if somebody knew where I lived, they would see dollar signs when they see me. And like I said, I knew that wasn't true. I knew that's not what I had. I knew that we were all in the household fighting for this one home. I didn't have time to relax. I didn't have time to really enjoy it. The only thing on my mind was just get a better life for yourself. I don't know if this is going to make sense to a lot of those out there that listen to this, but it is something that I did feel growing up. It is something that sometimes I still do feel as if I can't express my accomplishments to those out of fear that they would see it as an opportunity. They would see it as an ulterior motive. I know this can come off as a very privileged and tone deaf conversation, but I hope you try to look deeper and see it from the perspective I'm trying to bring it to you. This isn't about me coming from impoverished to middle class and then being afraid that my poor friends would find out. This is more about me having to come up for myself and having the fear of all the people I once loved and cared about suddenly turn on me and see me as a lottery ticket, when in reality, I wasn't too far away from being back where they were, and I wasn't too ahead of stepping out of what I once was in. I want everybody that might feel this way or ever felt this way to know that whatever you receive in life, whether it's a new home or a new career, a new path, enjoy your accomplishments because those are things that you worked for. Do not walk around with this guilt in your heart and questioning if You deserved it. If you were the right person to get the gifts that you received. Time is precious, and the universe knows what it's doing. So don't have shiny things and feel like you're unworthy. Don't have a great opportunity and have it tumble because you're afraid you're not ready. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy the blessings that are given to you.